Hey guys, this is week 6, My Stats Lab problem for example. So let's look at our problem. A small software company will bid on a major contract. It anticipates a profit of $75,000 if it gets it, but thinks there's only a 30% chance of that happening. So part A of our problem asks us to find the expected profit. Well, let's work this out, and I've put a little table here that will help us work this whole problem out in Excel with minimal amount of work on our part, which is what we always want, right? Anyway, in this problem, this company is either going to win the bid or lose the bid. That's the only two options they have. If they win, then they make the 75,000. If they don't get the bid, then of course they make nothing. Well, the problem tells us there is a 30% chance of them winning the bid. So we can put 0.3 there as that probability, which means there is a 0.7 chance that they lose the bid. So now we can find our expected profit. How? Well, the expected profit is the sum of all of the outcomes, x times px. And we have two outcomes here, so all we have to do is find x times px for these two outcomes, add them together, and that will be our expected profit. So the first one equals x times that probability, enter. The second one equals x, and I know how this one's going to come out, times that probability, enter. Yep, I kind of knew that. I'll sum those up. We'll use the summation key here to add that up for us. And there we have it. So the expected profit, which as I show here is also the same thing as the mean, is 22,500. So that gives us part A. Part B asks us to find the standard deviation. Well, for this we have a little more work we need to do. The first thing we're going to do is find the variance, and then we will take the square root of that, which is our standard deviation. Also, if you'd like, on page 220 in our text, there is a problem that works out much the same way as what we're doing here, so that may be a little extra help or reinforcement for this. So in order to find the variance, the first thing we need to do is find the deviation of these from the mean, which is x minus the mean. X being here, our mean being here. So there again, we can use our formula equals x minus the mean. Enter. Same thing here, equals x minus the mean. Enter it there. So from here we need to find the square of these numbers and then multiply by that by the probability. So x minus the mean squared times the probability of x. So we'll carry on here, equals our x minus the mean. Now we need to square it. How are we going to do that? Well, we'll let Excel do it for us. So if we go to our keyboard and hit Shift and the 6 button, we'll get our little up arrow, put in a 2, and that's going to square that number. Now we multiply that by the probability of x, which we already have here. Enter. That's the first number. We'll do the same thing here, equals our number here, shift 6 so we can square it, times that probability, which is 0.7, and enter. So there we have our x minus the mean squared times the probability of x. So all we have to do is summation again, using our summation key, and there we have our variance. Now we just said that the standard deviation is the square root of the variance. So we can go to our box here, equals, start typing in square root, SQ, double click there, it asks for our number which we just found, close our box and hit enter. And there's our standard deviation, $34,369. There you have it. That's problem 4 from this week, week 6 in my stats lab. I think this will help you work this out. Again, I told you you can look in your textbook on page 220 also. I believe this is a pretty good way to calculate expected profit and standard deviation. See you next time.